Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be back. It's an exciting year for us. I want to go through our presentation. Our company is dynaCERT. We have a global solution to reduce pollution. This is a company that we have spent many years developing. And so our technology, what we have is a carbon emission reduction technology. It is designed, initially we were designed for transport trucks. This is a technology where we have a hydrogen unit, which it produces hydrogen on demand to improve the fuel economy of an engine, but more importantly, by improving the fuel economy on an average of 10%, we are also reducing the emissions very, very significantly. We have our patent, we have several patents. Actually, we have now over a dozen patents in 7 different verticals. dynaCERT has developed and commercialized patented proprietary electrolyzers. We call this the hydrogen units. We produce measured amounts of hydrogen and oxygen from distilled water, and it's delivered through the air intake of an engine to both increase the power, increases the torque, improves the fuel economy, and reduces the CO2, the CO, and the NOx. Like I said, this is an on-demand system, so at no time are you storing hydrogen. It is literally produced on demand, fed directly to the air intake of the engine. With very low power demand from the engine's battery, we deliver to the air intake. Our products are currently on trucks, mining equipment, generators, reefers, and construction equipment. With this, we reduce the particulate matter, which is the black smoke. The diesel exhaust fluid, or the DEF system, it's been proven now that we reduce the use of that up to 60%. And the diesel particulate filter, we prolong the life of that very significantly because of the reduction. And it's interesting, we are reducing this right at the combustion. This is not a filtration system, but with the introduction of hydrogen to an engine, it improves the burn. It gives you a more complete burn, and therefore increasing the power, reducing the emissions, and improving the fuel economy. We look at this as a very timely investment opportunity. Certainly with the oil prices where they are today, it's very compelling to the end users, the global economy. We're all learning more how to generate the impact of COVID slowdown, but we look at the global supply chain. It's filtering through the business community worldwide. We look at the emission benefits from our technology. We are reducing the NOx, and this is very important to understand. And it was interesting. I mean, NOx was never really considered important until the last year. The EPA in the US has really come to realize and come to vocalize that we've got to reduce the NOx, which is the most deadly gas produced by a diesel engine. We're reducing that up to 88%. Again, like I said, this is right at the combustion. This is very significant. We reduce the CO2 6 to 19%, on an average 10% or north of that. The reduction of the CO2 or the carbon monoxide up to 47%. The THC or the hydrocarbons up to 57%, the particulate matter 55%. I like to say that we're reducing, all the toxic gases in the emissions north of 50%. We look at the economic benefits of this, certainly, to the trucking industry, now to the mining industry, the oil fields, and so many areas, with the improved fuel economy, 6 to 19%. Like I said, we're averaging north of 10%. The reduction of the DEF, the increased DPF life, and the estimated reduction of oil changes. It's interesting. We actually had a test done with 2 Class 8 transport trucks, both running the same time, the same type truck, and running the same routes. And at a typical oil change, they check the oil, and the oil of a typical oil change, it's north of 8% soot content in the oil. And it's the soot that breaks the oil down and starts wearing out an engine. With our technology on it, it came back at less than 1% soot content because because it's burning so much cleaner and running so much cleaner, the particulars are not getting filtered down into the oil and breaking down the oil. Therefore, I mean, really, it is prolonging the life of the engine. We've gone to great extremes to have this thing tested and validated worldwide. Initially, we did it with University of Ontario Institute of Technology here in Canada, and then the Pitt Group in Canada, which is the gold standards in the trucking industry. And then we went to Europe with Continental and Emitech. We had it tested and certified with ICAT in India. Of course, we've got several independent testimonials by users globally. And we went through the homologation in Europe. We worked with TÜV North and TÜV South to get that done. That took a very long time. It was interesting. They actually tested this thing 4 times because the first time they tested it, they said it's impossible. They tested it again the second time, they got the same results. Then they presented it for homologation. They came back and said, we want you to test this thing under our scrutiny, and they tested it again and got the same results. So it's very, very, this is where it's not us saying that we're getting these results. This has now been proven, tested, and verified globally. We also, what we do is we've developed what we call the Hydrolytica. So the Hydrolytica, it is data-driven. This is a device where the end users and us here at dynaCERT can see every unit out there in the field. Now, to the end users, they can only see their own units, but it shows the improved fuel economy, the reduced emissions. It converts it to the CO2e, which is converted to future carbon credits. And this is all, like I said, this is 100% data-driven. This is not us saying this. This is drawn right from the computers, right from the engine's computer. We look at our product line. I mean, we've got our first go-to-market was the HG1 series. Like I said, that was our first entry to market was the Class 8 trucks. We probably picked the toughest market to try and penetrate initially, but we are seeing great results there. We've gone from that. We developed an HG2 series, which is for the smaller engines, for the more delivery size trucks, the reefers, the which are the large containers, which are refrigerated, running a small diesel engine 24/7. And then we moved into the HG4 and 6 series, where this was developed for the mining industry, the large construction equipment, and the very large power generation. And it's interesting, we talk about this. I know that, Julian, you had the opportunity just a few days ago, H2 Tech, one of our dealers, this is a dealer that works exclusively in the mining industry and the large power generation. They were over in South Africa doing at a large convention there. They were invited there with Export Development Canada, and they are now penetrating the South African market in the mining industry. They, Julian, you were able with IIF to do an interview with them, which I believe was just went live in the last day or two on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So if I can make Jim on that. So through the IIF, we were in mining in Daba. This is where we met with H2 Tech, and we did an interview with them, which you can find on our YouTube. It is effectively up and running right now. So for anyone that wants to have more details about the distributor of the mining equipment of hydrogen, then I invite you to our IIF YouTube channel and to see more details about it.
Absolutely. And Julian, you did a great job with that interview, and it was interesting. The H2 Tech, they spoke very, very boldly. Now, you have to understand, H2 Tech is strictly a dealer for dynaCERT products. That's all they do. They market this worldwide in the mining industry. They have built a huge following. They've had great success in the mining industry, where we are now getting repeat sales. And this is where I probably is the most exciting thing for me is we look at it. This has been a tough road. This has been a long time coming, but now we have constant flow of repeat sales coming from both, here in Canada, well, from the mining industries worldwide, here in Canada, from the oil fields, the trucking industries, municipalities, the large utility companies. They've all ran their own pilot projects, and now based on the results, they are giving repeat sales and starting to outfit their entire fleet. Like I said, so this is our HG1 series. This was for the greener transportation industry. This was designed for the 10 to 15 liter engines. This was and is our product for the Class 8 trucks. It's now actually being adopted into many of the large bus companies, like, the larger buses. This just shows you, a truck that has our units on it, promoting our hydrogen as a global solution to reduce pollution. Again, here it shows our product on the back of a bulldozer and on a dump truck. And then again, in the mining industry. Now the mining industry, is starting to really, really catch on. Where it's really been popular, where H2 Tech has gained huge advancements, is in the large mining, in the open pit mining, on those large trucks, those large earth moving equipment that are burning over 1 million liters per year in oil or in fuel. And they are all seeing, in an average 8 to 14% improved fuel economy. They said at 5%, this thing is a no-brainer. 5% improved fuel economy, it pays for itself in less than 6 months. But also they are very, very interested in it because of the emission reductions are so significant. And of course, everybody worldwide now is trying at their utmost to meet these ESG commitments within that industry. This is a smaller unit that was developed for, originally was developed for the reefers or the refrigerated containers. It's now being adopted in many mid-sized delivery trucks and in passenger vehicles like that. Then we look at the large power generators. This is, again, now when I talk about the oil fields, I mean, they're oil fields. You look at this here. This is actually out in an oil field where they've got these large containers where it has a generator in it, has our unit in it. It's powering all these big drilling rigs that are drilling in the oil fields. Again, they are seeing great results, and we're seeing repeat sales coming from that. This is our HG4 unit, or for the smaller mining industry, so this is for the 40 to 60 liter engines. And then we've got the larger ones. This is our 6C for the 60 to 90 liter engines. Again, this is where H2 Tech is seeing, the biggest results, the biggest excitement in the mining industry. Here again, you look at these trucks. I was talking about these big trucks. A truck like this burns north of 1 million liters of fuel per year. Although our unit is the size of a small deep freeze, you see it up there on the truck. It's not that big of a unit on the truck. So our current market, again, like I was talking, our current markets are the busing, refrigerated trailers, the small trucks or delivery trucks, the large Class 8 trucks, power generation, farming, construction, and mining equipment. Our plans are, working towards one for passenger vehicles, small marine vessels. We are now actually on, so this was planned, but as of this year, we have now got a pilot project in the small marine vessels. And we've also got a pilot project going on in Europe as we speak in the locomotive industry. This is the first time on railway that our technology is being adopted, and we are seeing great results there. We look at the diverse applications of this, like we had talked about, this is showing it on all these different applications. You look at the value proposition to the end user. So an average truck here in North America is traveling 161,000 kilometers a year. At 8% fuel savings, at 10% fuel savings, on fuel, it's saving 80 cents a kilometer. We look at the cost of this, an average cost for a Class 8 truck is $88 to $150 Canadian. You look at the cost, their return on investment is just over 8 months. And again, this is strictly based on fuel savings. So if we add in the savings of the DEF, the DPF filters, and then of course the reduction in emissions are so significantly, and the future of carbon credits. And I talked the future of carbon credits, and I think a lot of people know we've spent over 2 years working with Verra to get this certified. Our technology has been certified through Verra. They have approved the methodology. You go to Verra, and Verra is the largest entity in the world when it comes to carbon credits. And I know that Verra has, some people say, oh, Verra's came under scrutiny lately. Now Verra has done a very good job of debunking that. But at the same time, the reality is you look at carbon credits when you're talking forestry and things like that, it leaves a lot to be desired because it's a planting trees. The question is how many trees grow, how many die, what if somebody cuts down trees, something like that. This is where, Verra and the auditors that are going through the final stages of our product both say that our product and our carbon credits will be a premium carbon credit because it is 100% based on data. It is data derived directly from the engine's computer. This is something, there is no human intervention. We couldn't mess with this. Nobody can mess with this. I mean, it is hard data. And so therefore it proves it without a question. We look at the overall market size. I mean, today there's over 1 billion internal combustion engines worldwide. There's still 100 million new engines being built every day or every year. And so we look at the HG2 market, there's over 20 million in North America, 40 million in Europe, 55 million in South Asia, and 20 million in South America. And then of course we look at the larger ones. Like I said, we get into the HG4s, the HG6s in the mining industry. It's a massive market. And I certainly encourage everybody to look at that YouTube video that Julian was talking about, because between IIF and our dealer down there when they were in South Africa did a really good job talking about that, talking about the results they're getting and the size of the market and where they expect this thing to go. Currently, we've got 48 qualified dealers worldwide. We're currently in 55 countries of the world. I think, as most people know, we're a Canadian-based company, but we do have dynaCERT GmbH in Europe, which is our office in Europe and our distribution center in Europe. Again, I was talking about the hydrolytica, and this is where it shows the real benefits to the end user. And the end users now, this has removed the doubt, removed the question, because they can see in real time. They can download this on their phone, and of course their logistics office can download it and run it on their office data, where they're seeing in real time. They can break it down to every individual vehicle. They can see where it is. They can see the exact route it's going. They can see the actual speed it's running at, and like that, but they also see the fuel economy, the improved fuel economy, and the reduction in the greenhouse gases. Our business model, I mean, currently we have spent, we're not a new company, we're over 18 years spent in research and development to get this thing to a commercialized state. And to date, there's been over $90 million spent, in the development of this, and of course in the expansion of this. This year, I'm very excited because we are in a growth year. We are where we expected to be just prior to COVID, and COVID certainly affected us as much as it did anybody, but we have came out of it strong. We've came out of it where we are now seeing, repeat sales and increased sales worldwide, and then repeated sales. Again, I know I keep repeating this, but to me, it's the repeated sales, because this is a technology that companies first want to run their own pilot projects. After they've ran their pilot projects, they've seen the results. It was interesting. We had a company here in Canada last year, Electra, a very large utility company here in Canada, had first bought 15 units, and they ran a pilot project for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, they had got great results. They actually won awards here in Canada because of this project. In its sustainability, they in turn ordered an additional, I believe it was 78 units last year, which are now up and running to a total of 80 some odd units. And now they are currently looking at outfitting the remaining outfit of their fleet. They've also told us that every new truck they order when it comes in will not be running without a unit on it. details like that really is the exciting part. We look at a comparable. When you look at a comparable, I can remember when these trailer skirts were first launched. I was in Kentucky at the largest truck show when these things were launched. It was interesting. Back, this is a few years back, but I walked around and everybody said there is no way we will ever put these on our trailers. Today in North America, you're hard pressed to find a trailer anywhere on the road without them. They improve the fuel economy according to all the stats on an average of 1%. Their average cost for these skirts are $3,000. So if we look at that and do a comparable, our unit costs less than $10,000 with an improved fuel economy of 10%. The comparison, our units are 3 times better than theirs. Now their unit, it took a period of time to penetrate the market. And I think we are just now turning that corner where we're starting to see that penetration. Once it happened, with the skirts, like I said, a few years later, you can hardly find a trailer in the world or certainly in North America without them. I firmly believe that's exactly where we're going. Again, I was talking about the carbon credits. With Verra, we have been working over 2 years with Verra. They have approved the methodology. You can go on their site. You can look it up under dynaCERT. The methodology is now approved. We are in the final stages. Our engineering team and management team is working back and forth with the auditors to get that final stamp of approval. I know that it's taken a long time. Last year, there was a 5-month period where they went quiet. They were going through a bunch of changes. And so we were frustrated as beyond belief. But certainly in the last 2 months, they have been working very closely with us, and literally on a week or bi-weekly basis, we're going through all the check marks to get that finalized. We certainly look at the company, at our shareholdings. We have very strong shareholders. We've got over 42% is the retail shareholders, 31% is held by management and insiders, 25% by or 5% by institutionals. Eric Sprott, a gentleman, is massive, well-known entity here in Canada. I'd say he is the Warren Buffett of Canada, and he was primarily in the gold industry, but he has invested a lot into dynaCERT because he believed in the future of carbon credits. He said, "I believe the future of carbon credits is huge. I believe that dynaCERT is a company that is most positioned to take advantage of that." And that's exactly why Eric Sprott has and continues to be invested in dynaCERT. Certainly, we look at the higher barriers to market, with the worldwide patents, especially on our electronic control units, the technological advantages. Our product is very robust now. It separates the H2 and O2, separates it where we are producing pure hydrogen and pure oxygen. We'd certainly look at the certification that we have now taken, within jurisdictions around the world, and the distribution network. I look at the progress that we've achieved over the last couple of years, even through COVID. I mean, we worked very diligently here to ensure that our units were as robust possible. And certainly our big focus was the larger units for the mining industry, because those units, they take a beating. Where our units today, where, like I said, H2 Tech, are speak very, very highly of it. We are in 8 of the 10 largest mining companies here in North America that are adopting our technology. You look at the management, we've got strong management of the company, but this is also where I want to talk about. I say we're in a very exciting year of growth. We are currently looking at increasing management. We are looking to bring some young blood in. We certainly want to bring some additional management, some that are younger but very experienced in the hydrogen field and things like that. But the other thing I really want to talk about is where this company is going and where we are today with also in the green hydrogen. I don't want to play down our current technology, because our current technology is really working and working well. But certainly today, we have and are growing very, very quickly within the green hydrogen, our AEM technology, which is a high pressure, high volume, longer lifespan, without the use of any rare earth materials. We have been working very diligently with that. We are also, currently in a very positive area where we are working with collaborations with governments, with universities, and with other companies in the hydrogen field, where dynaCERT will take a very strong stand and be leaders in green hydrogen, because that is, I strongly believe, the future. I believe that for a very long time. And with the experience that we currently have in our technology and the ability to move forward in this green hydrogen, it's very exciting. I certainly, encourage people to stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of news coming out concerning all this over the next weeks and months, with collaborations with many entities and stuff like that, where we are taking a very, very large firm stand within the green hydrogen. I want to thank you. I turn it over to Julian.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Jim, for this great presentation once again on the update on dynaCERT. Right now, Mr. Louis Black from Almonte Industries, if you are in the attendees right now, please raise your hand so we can put you in the panelists. That means that in the meantime, we have a few minutes for some questions, Jim. Maybe let's go with the first one. You discussed a bit about it, but the company said, so dynaCERT said many times that the Verra certification would be completed by 2022, and you already discussed it a bit. But when do you can you expect, or can you say that you expect by end of 2023, a little earlier? What is your feel on how things should go on that Verra certification?
That's a great question, Julian. I fully expect it, well before the end of this year. I expect it to come, to become forth anytime in the very near future. Like I said, we are working very diligently with the auditors to get through that final check mark. As far as the methodology, it is done, it's approved, it's on Verra's website. We are just looking for that final check mark where we can start issuing their carbon credits.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jim.